a little honeybee.
Since we found our queen, we're going to take an opportunity to mark her now. So I use a queen catcher typically just so that I can set this frame down and do it easily. Otherwise I'll just pluck her off with my fingers most of the time. So we're going to go ahead and catch her right now. Alright, so we can now set this aside. We're going to put our frame back in. And also add our extra frames. Now, what I want to do now is get the rest of these bees out of here and move the hive back to its original spot. Now you'll never get all the bees out. You don't have to worry. But we're going to set our new box right where that old one was. And then I'm going to set that underneath there. So those bees eventually, they'll find their way back up and join their nest mates there at some point. Alright, so let's see about marking this girl. I use a paint pen. This is actually an actual paint pen. It's not a magic marker. You can get a paint pen from, obviously, this brand name. You can get them from Sharpie, but be sure that it is an actual paint pen. So it's got a little marble or ball bearing in there. We'll shake it up, and when you dab the tip, the paint will flow. But here's a pro tip for you. Before you get ready to mark, you want to always dab off any excess. If you don't, when you apply that, it's just going to just splash all over her and obviously make a mess and maybe even damage her to the point that she can't be productive. Alright, so now we've got our paint pen handy. It's ready to go.
Why are you choosing that color for?
Right. Well, paint, there are 5 different international colors recognized for paint, painting a queen, and that has to do with their age. Anything that ends in the number 2 or the number 7 will get a yellow color. Last year's color was white. Prior to that, you might have red, green, and blue. So those 5 colors are specific to a year. Now, I don't necessarily mark my queens so that I can see them, although it does make them easier to see. But the main reason I mark mine is to know how old they are. So when I see a yellow one, I know that she's this year's queen. If I see a white one, she was last year's queen. So at some point, the queens become less and less effective. In other words, their sperm may have been used up, or the sperm might not have been viable, or she might not have been mated extremely well. So after about 2 years or so, you can get 2 good years out of most queens, and then pretty soon after that, they may start fading in their efficacy. And you'll start seeing them laying a lot of drone brood at that point, and you'll know for sure it's time to replace her. So knowing how old she is can help you with that kind of decision. Alright, so now that we've got our color for our appropriate year, we're going to try to find our queen. Now, all the girls here really like this. Now, with these queen catchers, it's basically like a queen excluder. The workers can come and go through that, but the queen cannot. Now, anytime you do this, you want to do this over your hive. Alright, do not do it over here out in the open, because she's liable to jump out and run away, and then you got a problem trying to catch her. So, alright, so let's see if we can get her to come out.
3 hours later.
Okay, now the way she's fluttering her wings, this girl could take off at any time. She wouldn't be able to get very, very far, but we don't want her to get away. So we're going to mark her thorax. You see how that there's a lot of paint. Going to give her a good dab of paint. We'll blow it till it gets dry. And then I've got the tuck her head in. Oops. Tuck her head in. All right, there you go. There she went. So that's why you do it over the hive and not over out in the middle of the bee yard. So that's all there is to marking a queen.